Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL Week number 6 picks and predictions, predicting the score of every single upcoming NFL game. And we begin on Thursday night, Amazon Prime. Flip a coin for this game, guys. We've got the Commanders traveling to Chicago. I've gone back and forth on this one several times. It currently is listed as a pick'em, but I am going with the home team, and Justin Fields developing nicely. Had a very nice game in Minnesota. He can build on that. This is a pick'em game. I'm taking Chicago. Originally, I wanted to take Chicago. Then I flipped it to the Commanders winning a close one because I thought this could be a potential parity game, and the Commanders really should have won last week. They outgained Tennessee by over 170 yards. The very winnable game that the Commanders lost. They're not a horrible team, but I will take and bet on Justin Fields developing. Thursday night game at home. There's a built-in advantage. Chicago surprising people against Minnesota. They were in that game till the end. I will take Chicago at home, 20-17, lower scoring again. There's been a big trend about many of these primetime games being lower scoring games. This one certainly, Justin Fields versus Carson Wentz. We expect it to be lower scoring, 20-17. Give me the home team. Moving to the 1 o'clock slate, we've got New England coming off their major blowout shutout over Detroit. They're traveling on the road in Cleveland. The Browns coming off that heartbreaking loss at home to the Chargers where they blew a 14-0 lead. And guys, I really do like the Browns to win this game and cover the 3-point spread, 23-17. You know, New England probably starting Bailey Zappi again. Bill Belichick has done crazy things. He shuts down a Detroit offense that I thought was overrated, and I had figured that Detroit would come back down to earth. They did that. But now New England goes on the road. I don't see, them winning another game with Bailey Zappi in Cleveland. The Browns, Myles Garrett, pretty much invisible this past week. I think he gets on the board with a sack. The Browns utilize their running game. They very easily could have beaten the Chargers. That game, Cade York, I believe, missed 2 field goals. The offense had 26 first downs, I believe. They're still moving the ball, even with Jacoby Brissett. So I think the Browns are a pretty good discount, minus the 3. They've moved the ball on offense. The defense has been the issue. A lot of those defensive struggles could be alleviated with a young, inexperienced quarterback at home. I like the Browns in that one. The next game, we've got San Francisco, once again staying on the East Coast. Last week, they were in Carolina. They crushed the Panthers. Now, small trip to Atlanta, Georgia to take on the Falcons. The Falcons with that, crazy cover against the Buccaneers. They were getting crushed 21-0. They score a bunch of garbage time points, and then the roughing the passer, things like that. They were almost back into that game completely. San Francisco -5 right now. Nick Bosa questionable at best. If San Francisco wants to be cautious, they might just hold Nick Bosa out for this game. But either way, I love what San Francisco is doing. I love their roster makeup. I had them as a surprise Super Bowl contender with Trey Lance. And obviously with Jimmy G, there's a higher floor, probably a lower ceiling, but still he's a quarterback that can get things done, move the ball. We saw this team just score 30-plus points. I think they do it again, and Atlanta finally loses a game against the spread. I believe right now they're 5-0 against the spread. They're due for a loss there. I've got San Francisco. I love the over in this game, 30-21. The next game, we've got a little interesting AFC, NFC, pretty rare. The Jets in Lambeau Field. The Packers coming off that inexplicable loss to Daniel Jones and the Giants. It's just crazy how much the Packers have invested into their defense only for Daniel Jones to completely run over it in the second half. I mean, they had to trade Devontae Adams because they wanted to pay Jair Alexander. They had 2 first-round picks. They both use them on defensive players. They've invested so much into a defense that has been so underwhelming. It's such a talented defense. It's crazy. Guys, I think this has a makings of a major Packers win. If you take a look at that Jets game versus Miami, they scored 40 points, but it was very fraudulent. There were no drives. They only had 320 yards of total offense. Zach Wilson had 0 passing touchdowns. I think this is a game where Green Bay knows their defense, especially after that disgusting performance in London, they need to play better. They will play better. They run the ball a lot more in this game with Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Maybe they get a pick six, a defensive score, something, and they win this game and cover the spread in Lambeau. Big bounce back game for the Packers defense. Next, we've got Jacksonville traveling to Indianapolis. This is the second time these teams have faced this season. The first time in Jacksonville, I believe week 2, just 4 weeks ago, Jacksonville shut out Indianapolis. Indianapolis at home, they are 2-point favorites. Guys, I don't know the status on Jonathan Taylor, but my intuition says he's going to play this week. They didn't want to rush him on, a short week with it being Thursday night. They wanted to give him time to rest. The Colts need to win these games, and I think the Colts are a lock minus the 2. A lot of people think Matt Ryan is washed. I think they're overreacting. In my opinion, Matt Ryan still has a little something left in the tank. He can still be serviceable. That Thursday night game was very, very bad, but he was missing Jonathan Taylor. Nyheim Hines went out early. I will take Indianapolis to cover this spread. Jacksonville has not been good at all recently. They just scored 6 points at home against a bad Houston team and lost 13-6. They do have a good defense, but with Jonathan Taylor possibly returning, I will take it. It would be shocking to see Indianapolis lose to Jacksonville twice in the span of 6 weeks. I would be very shocked by that personally, so I will take them. Next, we've got an interesting little matchup. How about Kirk Cousins headed to South Beach? And obviously, the Miami Dolphins dealing with major quarterback issues with both Tua. I'm guessing he's going to be out again, or he might have already been ruled out. I'm not sure, but it'd be, very surprising if he plays this week. And then Teddy Bridgewater also injured. But guys, this has the makings, in my opinion, of just a weird, crazy South Beach game that Miami pulls out at the end. It's 90 degrees. You've got a Minnesota team who isn't used to that heat. And Miami wins this game 24-21 as 3-point underdogs. I know Minnesota's gotten up to a great start. It just feels like this is a game that Kirk Cousins and the Vikings could lose. Remember, Chicago almost beat Minnesota. They made that comeback. They ended up losing by 7, but they were in that game in the fourth quarter. It's not like Minnesota is this juggernaut. I respect what they've done. Justin Jefferson is absurd. But it's kind of a weird game on the road, probably 85, 90 degree weather. You're dealing with humidity. I will take the value in Miami pulling off the upset. You still do have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Maybe you hit a few long explosive plays. Maybe you get a Kirk Cousins interception to create a short field, and you win this game on a walk-off field goal. We got another interesting matchup here. It is Cincinnati, whose offense right now cannot generate anything, going on the road to New Orleans. And guys, this game opened up as a pick'em. Doesn't surprise me at all. Cincinnati is trending right now. They've gone to -1.5. I love Cincinnati. I love Jamar Chase to have a huge week. Joe Burrow, they know they've got to start generating explosive plays through the air. New Orleans is a team not great on defense. They've given up several big plays. We understand the Taysom Hill thing. They definitely have an interesting offense. Chris Olave, though, is he going to be out? Is Michael Thomas still going to be out? What's the status on Jameis Winston? This is an injured New Orleans Saints team. There's very good value right now, in my opinion, on Cincinnati -1.5. On the over in this game in a dome. Joe Burrow. This is a get-right game for Joe Burrow after a very average Sunday night game where they lost a lower scoring game. I like Cincinnati 35-25 over New Orleans. Next, we've got Baltimore on the road at the red-hot New York Giants. And guys, I'll be honest, originally I had this game as, I guess, an upset, you could say, with the Giants winning. But I've actually changed my tune. I think this is a parity game. I love the Giants' value on the +5, but I will take Baltimore winning this game. Lamar Jackson makes one more play. I will say, I have major concerns right now for this Baltimore offense, especially passing the ball. Will Rashard Bateman be back? Hopefully that'll help alleviate some of the issues they've had through the air. It seems like Lamar Jackson is really only throwing to Mark Andrews. There's no other real weapons there. And then what's going on with the running back situation with J.K. Dobbins only getting 8 carries, being very effective. I don't know if they're trying to limit his touches coming back from injury, but they've got to turn him loose. So I'm going to say this is a parity game. There's no way the Giants go to 5-1. I respect what they've done. They are at home in this matchup. There's good value plus the 5, but give me Baltimore to win this game after winning a Sunday night game at home. Their offense breaking out a little bit. Next, we have Tampa Bay on the road. Boy, this week is really just all AFC versus NFC, basically. This is a very interesting matchups. Tampa Bay in Pittsburgh. Rarity there. Pittsburgh coming off that blowout loss. Tampa Bay, they were blowing out Atlanta. Their defense was pitching a shutout. And then, of course, Atlanta scores all those points in the fourth quarter. They almost come back. Originally, I had Tampa Bay covering this spread, but I do have faith just in general in the Steelers, the culture, Mike Tomlin. I really think they've got weapons. I think Kenny Pickett can do enough at home with Deontay Johnson. With Najee Harris maybe having a breakout game. Chase Claypool, George Pickens, and others, along with the defense, you still got Mika Fitzpatrick. This Tampa Bay team really, they're still trying to find their footing. They're generating a lot of yards, like Tom Brady threw for 350, but only 1 passing touchdown. I like Tampa Bay to win this game, but I think there's good value. It's surprising, but I do think there's good value. Pittsburgh plus the 8, even coming off of their decapitation against the Buffalo Bills, which was just a total annihilation, 38-3. I'm going to assume that was an aberration. I'm going to say Kenny Pickett plays better at home. I mean, he only had 1 turnover in Buffalo. A lot of it was garbage time, and I'm sure Buffalo was playing off. But I think Pittsburgh is a sneaky bet to cover while losing in this game. Moving to the 4 o'clock window, we have Carolina once again playing a 4:05 game. So this is 3 straight 4 o'clock games for Carolina. This one makes more sense. They're in LA. Obviously, this game can't be, 1 o'clock Eastern. So LA, what a horrible performance against the Cowboys. The Rams right now, -11. Baker Mayfield, injured, benched, whatever. They fire their head coach. It's a mess in Carolina. I think they're going full tank mode. And I've got LA, desperate need of a win. They get a win 30-17. It's the NFL, you never know, but it would just be shocking with the way that Carolina franchise looks right now if they won this game in LA. LA needs this game. Their defense is going to be pissed. You're facing a young quarterback who's on the road that's prone to turnovers. I'll take the Rams 30-17 in that one. The 4:25 games is another one. A divisional game. I went back and forth on it. It is Arizona traveling to Seattle. Seattle and Geno Smith. I believe I saw Geno Smith has like the best or the second best passer rating right now in the NFL. That surely can't continue in my opinion. And this is a very chalky pick for me. You've got, the Cardinals -3. I've got them winning by 3. All the Cardinals do is win on the road. To me, this could be a very similar game to the game the Cardinals played in Las Vegas, where it's just kind of a slop fest, who knows, and then Kyler Murray makes a play, pulls a rabbit out of his hat, and they win on the road. I just can't see Seattle winning this game personally, even though they are at home. Geno Smith, I think, is due to come back down to earth. It will be fun to see Kenneth Walker, the rookie, start that game and see how he does. I'm sure a lot of us who have him in fantasy are very interested in that. Probably the game of the week. It's Buffalo at Kansas City. Buffalo trying to get revenge for the playoffs last year. Of course, I believe the regular season last year, Buffalo crushed Kansas City, but then in the playoffs, you had the crazy game, the back and forth game late. Buffalo currently 2.5-point favorites. ESPN FPI does list Kansas City at a 57% chance to win, so virtually a pick'em type game. I am going with Buffalo. I've said from the beginning, this is Josh Allen's year to win MVP. It seems like it's his turn. He puts up those crazy stats last week against Pittsburgh. I think Josh Allen makes one more play. Kansas City, I'm a little concerned with their wide receivers right now. We saw Travis Kelce have the 4 touchdowns. It's crazy. But that win against Las Vegas was very challenging. They were 7-point favorites. They were down basically the whole game. I see the Chiefs losing this game. I don't think there's good value on Buffalo minus the 2.5. Maybe Buffalo money line. I mean, this game could go either way, but it just feels like it's Josh Allen's year, if nothing else, at least in the regular season, to win the MVP. So I'm going to continue that narrative, and I'm going to pick Allen over Mahomes. Again, just a little bit concerned about Mahomes' wide receivers right now. If they double Travis Kelce, really don't let him beat you. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that matchup. Moving to the Sunday night game, another divisional matchup. It's Dallas at Philadelphia. The Eagles, the only undefeated team remaining. And guys, right now this game is very hard to predict because we don't know the situation surrounding Dak Prescott. Will he play? Will he not play? They're certainly at this point not going to rush him back considering Dallas is in a good spot, although this is a massive game for the Cowboys to give the Eagles their first loss in division. Personally, I have this game, the Eagles winning 23-20. Close game. Again, very hard for me to predict if Cooper Rush is playing versus if, honestly, I don't even know how I would predict it or approach it if Dak was playing, because you also have to think, is he going to be rusty? How is the offense going to look? I've got a tremendous amount of respect for this Dallas Cowboys defense, but this is the Eagles at home. Honestly, I could see Dallas winning this game. I'm going to pick the Eagles at home, but let's be real. The Eagles are not going undefeated. Like, the Eagles are going to lose 4 or 5 games this season, in my opinion. This could certainly be one, but they are at home. I think there's great value on Dallas plus the 5. I will take Philadelphia in a primetime spot at home. And then moving to the Monday night game, Russell Wilson gets another primetime matchup. Oh my goodness. It's Denver traveling to the Chargers. So this is another divisional game. The Chargers are 5-point favorites, and I've got the Chargers winning this one 31-24. I don't know what to make of Russell Wilson. I have not seen a franchise quarterback regress this badly. I know he's dealing with an injury. Apparently, that just makes it worse. You've got the injury to Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon is afraid he's going to fumble the ball every snap he gets. Every time he gets the ball, his number one goal is just to hold on to it. So it's like, how can you even generate yardage like that? I will take the Chargers, who their offense is humming right now. Justin Herbert averaging over 300 yards per game through the air. Austin Eckler, a major breakout game in Cleveland, rushing the football. They are at home. I will take them. And I actually like the over on this game. I think it's just 45 points. I like the over on it being a Monday night game, kind of similar to the Chiefs game that just happened this Monday night versus Vegas. I like the over. So guys, those are my official NFL Week 6 picks and predictions. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.